You know, I think of myself as just this little country girl that grew up there on the farm in the mountains. You know, I was just lucky that I had the opportunity to get a good education and to get a good job with an international corporation and travel all over the world. And it was not uncommon for me to be leading a project team with people from 4 different countries represented on my project team. And it was around about that time that I began to notice this thing called perception. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about overcoming the power of perception to release potential. I have an article here that I found in the newspaper. This is an Associated Press article that came out back in the summer. It was in lots of different newspapers picked up around the country. And it's called Accenting Opportunity. It says, studies suggest that in corporate America, an accent can mean missed opportunities and missed promotions. People look at you as being stupid. It's one of those stereotypes. That was something that I really faced a lot. And then when I brought in some young management trainees, my vice president asked me to be in charge of our management trainee program. And I started bringing in young trainees into an organization that had an average age of mid to late 50s. And I'm bringing in these young college kids, and one is a brilliant Asian engineer, and one is a rugby player from Wisconsin. And they're young, and there's this big age difference, and I'm starting to notice how they are perceiving the people that they work with. And I realized right then that perception is something I needed to work on, and I began to research it. Some of the things I ran across, of course, are the things that the image consultants tell you. Ladies, you all know, I hope, you don't wear open-toe shoes to a meeting. You know that? You wear open-toe shoes to the meeting, and automatically the men will discount you. I don't know about that, but honestly, I'll have to admit, if I was in a meeting and a man came in open-toe shoes, I might discount him too. An image consultant. And I am absolutely not here to coach you on how to manage others' perception of you. In fact, I believe that it's our obsession with that is the disease that's killing us. And when we treat those symptoms by worrying about our image, we're only treating the symptoms, and by only treating the symptoms, we are conceding defeat to that disease. And what I want to talk to you is how we can finally conquer the disease, and I want to do that by telling you a story. This is a story about my Aunt Ruby. She drove this big silver blue Cadillac. You remember the ones with the big fins on the front and the back? Had the big chrome grill on the front, looked like a bulldog, you know, snarling its teeth. One Saturday afternoon, my grandmother called me and she said, "Now, Rhonda, you be ready, because in a little bit, me and your Aunt Ruby and your Uncle Robert are coming to get you, and we're going to go shopping." Well, I really wasn't the least little bit interested in going shopping, but I knew 3 things. I knew, number one, if we were going to go shopping, we'd have to go out of town, because the only thing we had to shop at in Greenville was the JCPenney's. So if we were going to shop, we had to go to the big city. We had to go to Morristown. And if we were going to go to Morristown, that meant I'd get to ride in that Cadillac. And number 3, if we were going to go all the way to Morristown, we'd have to eat before we come back. We'd have to eat out. And that was a big deal. And y'all know what that meant. There's only one place. We're going to eat at Shoney's, the gourmet cuisine of the South. And I didn't care too much about shopping, but I was willing to endure anything to get to go to Shoney's. So we go to Morristown. Little did I know that I was about to be presented with the biggest case study of my young life. What we do in our relationships is we let our left brain control our perceptions of others. See, I looked at Ruby, I looked at what I saw on the outside and the behavior I saw in that one incident, and I developed a left brain perception of Ruby. I judged her on the spot. And then I put her in that box, and I closed the lid, and I left her there. And we have to become aware of how that dynamic works, because it works until the day you draw your last breath. Your left and your right brain are going to be fighting to be in the lead. And it's especially important in your relationships because it has the power to control. The left brain is powerful. And it has the ability to control our perceptions. And it will limit potential, not just, see, for me, Ruby was dumb, because I never allowed Ruby to be anything else when she was around me. So I limited Ruby's potential when she was around me. But I also limited my own because there was lessons that I could have learned from Ruby, and I missed them. So both of us missed out, but I especially missed out. I would give anything if I could go back now and talk to Ruby. When I think about the wisdom and the patience and the unconditional love and the acceptance and the humor that that woman had that I could have learned from, and I missed it. And that's what the left brain has the power to do. So we have to recognize when that's happening. And whenever we feel ourselves, we hear ourselves developing those negative perceptions, stop and ask yourself, what could be beneath that surface? So you see, it's really not my job to manage your perception of me. It's not my job to smooth my accent and wear the right shoes and count my jewelry so that I can cause you to have the right perception of me. It's your job to manage your perception of me. It's your job to fight those left brain negative perceptions and strive to have positive right brain perceptions.